Have mentioned it before, putting this content together. Have mentioned it before, putting this content together has been all about accumulating the sufficient amount of energy that it's taking for the result. Has nothing to do with conceptually, intellectually solving that issue that's perceived from the paradigm of separatism. You are the energy, the field. So we can go into relaxation, being at ease, and it takes over because you're merging with it. Have your attention there, your intentions as well, with the values and belief structures that have been so accurately sculpted with precision, high quality. It's putting everything in the proper arrangement so nature can do its thing, or getting out of the way so nature can do its thing. The ego being trapped in thought, the body eavesdropping or being a reflection of the mind. So this uneasiness that comes with guilt or worry, doubt, self-doubt, though the words aren't put onto the emotions, there's no processing, deeper examination going on for most folks. Like I was saying yesterday with the general type of illiteracy, there's just not as much of a robust vocabulary or material, not enough material in the lexicon to get a grip on the complexion. Though it's deeper, we're feeling into it, resolving these emotions, the sensations, the discomfort, the unclarity, it's clouded perception internally, bioenergetically. It's electricity of this emotion that's happening because you're holding on to something mentally. And you can't really get out of the mind using the mind. So we have to go through the body, bypassing the thinking mind through the physiology. You're training yourself to go into the conscious breathing first. You're training yourself, conditioning the mind to feel, be the energy first instead of the thought and action. And we're not moving around as who we think we are or being thought identified with the physical form. Oh, I'm moving to the left. It's the energy of moving to the left, or the energy that I would have felt as a result of moving to the left in my mind. I can just have that already. I'm already there. I don't need to do that. Right? I don't need to move. This is very subtle example, microscopic substance or happenstance. I'm just sort of explaining it as far as like just moving physically in a geolocation, a physical location from left to right. What was the initial motive? Where in the metaphysical anatomy was the initial motive to move to the left? Was it from the mental perspective, the thought, or the physically identified with the body formed perspective, like, oh, this body's moving to the left, or the energy behind the body is moving to the left? It's the energy behind the body, though. It's the feeling of what even happened. So why are you even trying to do that thing? So moving to the left, micro example. So it's more so you want to accomplish that task over there. You want to win that medal, for example. It's strange, X Games, whatever. So you could do it from a physical place, like in the body, and now you're moving as the body, or you could do it from a metaphysical, spiritual place and be moving as the energy. Though if you're identified as the energy, you don't even need to go anywhere to accomplish the attainment of realizing the total awareness, because you are it. It is you. You are everything. It's a direct mirror. There's no separation. So what do we actually need to accomplish mentally to have a sense of feeling complete? Nothing. It's all chasing phantoms, part of people being victims of commercial capitalism or what have you. I grew up in formative years watching commercials in the airwaves, radio, media, television, the sort of golden age of television. The censorship wasn't that crazy, though everything the whole time has been being monitored in a strange way. They instill values in the consumer to just consume endlessly, and the addiction is crazy. Even if I'm tapping into Pokemon. If I'm tapping into Pokemon recently, it's like I did collect Pokemon cards as a child, and I wasn't examining sort of the dynamics of how they really sort of breadcrumb you into a sort of codependent neediness about your next pack opening. Though even on digital packs and whatnot, it's very real. The values of endless consumption being subliminally programmed in a way that's like, you can't even get out of that. You're not supposed to figure it out later on. You're supposed to just pay these people learned helplessness, endless consumption, false authority, just being instilled in the institutions. Got enemies on. I'm not the enemy, but they're. You got someone who is saying that you're their sworn enemy on the land, as well as while you're also on the land looking to assist others. They're here to subvert others. At the same time, when they're being blinded from the actual affairs, this is all covered in the last vid. It's like, well, what am I? I'll touch the nose. I'll do one of these. I used to be like that. Little quips, little speaking shticks. We'll be chilling on that. The Pokemon is just a candid example. Modern day, lots of people love the trading card games. There's a place for it, but that could be going on. The spiritual development could coincide, though, also with opening or getting into endless consumerist type of activities. It's just homeopathic doses. I'm doing homeopathic Pokemon pack openings, knowing how severe the whole systemic issue is and monopolizing folks' dopamine. It's fun. No, you can't get too into it. And even if I did, it's not that big of a deal, though. What else could I be focusing on? I'm getting on the spiritual sovereignty. How misled has everyone been? How many vested interests are there in the hearts, minds, sexualities, guts, souls of everyone who's dealing with these companies who are vying for your attention to pay them money in fiat? It's all in good spirit, it's good in faith, sure. I'm doing all this commerce with these products, it's entertainment, it's adding good emotions, I guess, to everyone. Same time, beneath the surface, is this real? What is it distracting us from then? What am I being distracted from by going into the entertainment, food, or comfort eating, or being satisfied with overly satisfied with where I'm at, and participating in all types of, let's say, they're really immersively distracted behaviors. I'll play a video game, yes and no. There's deeper, more foundational prime aspects of existence that I must first solve or manage effectively before you go into playing video games. So, but the child isn't born in an environment where it's ideally not going to be exposed to the subjugation, and it's something like you were really playing the PlayStation through the genetic experiment and the organic technology of nature itself. Immersively, you're in avatar bodies having experiences or unfolding all these instances, fortune, good, misfortune. This whole thing for the ancestors was the PlayStation. It still is the gaming console, if you will. It's this realm that the spiritual entities, you have a rover, you get an ID in it, in a vessel, and you interact with others. When you're here, though, also it's from a different place. We have dreams at night. So how many thousands of years, how many eons has this console or this realm, this server been here with beings that have been coming in and out of it? How's it operating? What's the dynamics of it? How familiar could we be getting with this? So getting into the mystery of life and the synchronicity, the discipline, the synchronicity, the significance of meaning, and completeness of expression. How do you feel when everything is happening more and more in this strange synchronistic coincidence line of activities that you can't really plan this completely, totally connected sequence or unfolding of existence, and it's magical? That's those synchronicities. You cross those paths, you pick up that thing or that book, you see that little show, that clip, relationship with this person, and then later on, oh hey, I also know that person, or I also was there. Then they keep stacking, or magnitudes of synchronicity that's just all on top of each other as you're deepening into presence and service, unraveling the mystery, or just observing the unfolding of the mystery before you. Okay, this is true magic, true synchronicity, alignment, awareness with the discipline. More accurate decisions are being made, high quality experiences occurring because of those accurate decisions. So we're maturing spiritually in eternity, this cosmos. Get these things down, you're situated, and then maybe you can play video games, hop in the VR, though when folks are doing it, you're getting played. If it's outside of you and you haven't figured out at least the lucid dreaming, that's mainly the thing. I think I'm not even on the lucid dreaming. Through the fasting, the precision nutrition system, just getting some more sense in you, you find your way to get out of the electro smog, the 5G and the Wi-Fi smog too. It's not hard to recall your dreams and get more involved or engaged, participating with the other side there. Though to go lucid on the other side, to master yourself in the life between lives of the dream realm. It's on the flip here of here. This is like a whole other video game thing. What can you do in the lucid dreaming realms with different bodies? You're sort of in the 4D, 5D, 6D space, having experiences interfacing with more advanced intelligences, getting lessons that are relevant. You can actually like deliver more results that are effective here because of stuff that you saw on the other side, in the dream realm. But you feel satisfied. Depression's a joke. Schizophrenia is a joke. Like when you see someone who's truly awakened and tapped in, lucid dreaming, I'm saying you're lucid dreaming at least 4 out of the 7 nights a week. And that's a feat. To control the dream. I'm saying, how do you control this life? And it's not like you're controlling anything. It's like it's possible. It's like you're effectively managing it, governing yourself. You're not controlling yourself. You're just managing yourself profitably, because controlling, it's not possible, and you're playing yourself in this system of where I'm saying even folks are playing video games, you're playing yourself because this is it. How are you controlling something when everything's always moving? It's this, even on a subatomic level, they're not particles, it's a waveform. There's nothing that's certain or definite, ever. It's all ephemeral. It's a moment that never happened, and it's happening. So why are we concluding that we know for certain what this is? Why do we confirm like that this controller, that I can actually manipulate things forcefully, and that worked, and that's how it is, and that's how stuff's done ultimately, when the background charge of the void's doing nothing? It's been doing nothing the whole time. That's how anything's ever done. It's by the non-doing. So the illusion of control, or this notion of control in the illusion of separation, it's not actually happening. It's happening perhaps in the sub-program matrix. It's about force. You could just see that that's working, and there's a place for that. It's not sustainable. Eventually, that petri dish will find what true power is at some point. Eventually, even letting go. Working in while they're working out. The release. So they're aging, I'm growing. They haven't even distinguished the difference between aging and growing, going with the hook, line, and sinkers, trusting the manufactured authority and the religious inventions. Again, the body is a reflection of the mind, so if you have corrupted malware or off codes that are running, this deteriorates the entire vessel. You don't do the upkeep. It could be continual bliss and faith and love, though they're living in pain, doubt, and fear because of the ET religious programming. And this God, it's not the God, it's us. There's something wrong with us. It's not the God. So miracle worship, personality worship, the debasement. It's either you're taken out of base or something's like over you. Okay, either way, that's not empowering ultimately. For a moment, miracle worship and personality worship for someone in a certain apparently hopeless situation, it could give you some hope, okay, for a moment to get you out of there. And then misery's your first teacher, don't let it be your last. Religion or a man-made religious invention or personality or miracle worship. A little miracle worship, a little personality worship could be enough for your first breakthrough, but don't let that be what it takes for your last breakthrough. It can't be. It's just a tool for a human at one point on the journey, and there's other ways also that you could go about it. This isn't the only way, or man-made religious invention isn't the only way that you can liberate yourself. That's just one way it could have happened, and then folks clamped onto it, got dogmatic with it, took it too far, and again, using it as a form of manipulation over others. See, it's a war, it's a military conquest strategy. The ET religious programming. You show them the devil, now you've introduced fear. There's something to fear now in the mind, and they're split between good and bad. No neutral point. The whole story is given in order to corrupt minds. It's this might makes right thing. It's this manipulation through the deepest fears and insecurities of humans. So when folks are Bible thumping at you, come being a bit abrasive or aggressive, forcing their beliefs on you because of their insecurity, that just shows you the faultiness of the worldview, how something's off still. It's the energies of anger, fear, right? Where the God of the Old Testament is a very vengeful, jealous God, let's say, right? And it says everyone's just not worthy. You're all sinners, and so you're broken without this thing. And it's so much confusion. There's still utility, though. The personality worship, the miracle worship, the parables, the wisdom, the characters, the Christ consciousness itself. There's real elements, true events, and then you move the names around, or you intentionally misinterpret the text in order to cause issues. And you have to see it intellectually, conceptually, do the research, and then through experiences, you see it. This is actually what's taking place, and you're having more agency, responsibility to move different, disidentifying. Now you can disidentify from as much as you're becoming aware of as far as the corruption and the lies, and you are having more prosperity, you're profiting more, you're just becoming more effective. The coherence is really where it's at. The coherence and the bliss is really where it's at. Your blood's decontaminated. You're having the health, and it's this subtle. It's a light high. I'm not gonna lie. It's such a light high, using that term compared to the dirty, heavy, abrasive ones. Again, that so many folks are addicted to, with the flavors and textures of the standard American diet. And it's great, fine, but there's a lot of metabolic dysfunction brewing. The perception's clouded. And I'm looking for the best, most optimal results, let's say, as a Capricorn. This isn't a competition, though. It's just a war, at least, that's been going on. It's a lot of subversion, sabotage, things in the mind that is still, I'm letting go of on the daily. The unlearning is just so extensive when you were born into the hotbed of ignorance, exposed to the counterproductive indoctrination camps, even at formative years, say for 15, 20 years. So don't be surprised when it takes around that much time to undo that type of indoctrination. If you don't have that much support or resources, then you do get support and resources that shorten, collapse that time even more, get past that for what it is that we see actually, or we actually see that for what it is. Bliss and coherence continuing to amplify, grow. You're not trapped in the mind. You're identifying as the energy, feeling first, building that amount of energy that it's going to take to do what you want to do. And this is the new paradigm, the new approach compared to approaching everything from a mental place. How am I going to do this? And the mind's completely overwhelmed. There's not enough even RAM that's there to host multiple ideas at once to get the best possible outcome. I'm not going to use this mind anymore. I'm going to use the all-knowing mind. Let me just step out of the way, clear the vessel, breathe into it, focus on the energy and the feelings instead of the result and the outcomes. And then the results and outcomes that are so beyond what I could have imagined for myself, they just flow out effortlessly. This is how even the content of the videos coming together. Every single video just gets like that. I'm sitting here today more than ever. I'm like, damn, what am I going to talk about, though? I know exactly what it is once I hit play and get into a flow. Little point here and there. I already had in mind, and we build continually. You see what's been said, though. And it's more accurately describing the energetic processes or strategies behind how I'm going about optimizing the output and performance. This is like a performing art of sorts. How do I really make the daily content that gets better every time, other than focusing on the constituents, the configuration of the vessel itself? So hydrating, mineralizing, the consumption before, it's really just steering clear of certain toxifying elements, which I have been steering clear from, though you're like 2 weeks in, 1 week in, 1 month in, 3 months into that, and it's quite uncanny at certain points because you're so used to the same pattern of consumption, and it's addictive or stimulating. It's always been that stimulating. So to not get that stimulation and be satisfied from another lighter high, this was going on. The values are now rearranging around the new perspective and energy levels. The focus, the lifestyles on a day-to-day is changing rapidly. So rapid personal transformation. I'm getting ideas for what it is I like to feel this way. I know how to get to a flow state in general if I need to, and then if I don't prioritize the personal energy state and how I'm getting into the flow, I'm in an error, because if I'm doing anything else without having the coherence, how productive am I going to be? How high quality are those results going to be? So prioritizing the personal energy state, working on even the flow, evening it out, the consistency of it. You can't do it mentally. There's so many strategies I could try to think of and work on, though it does not compare to just refining, focusing, and optimizing in this system of precision nutrition. So I trust you got everything you could have possibly wanted from this video. If you want a consultation or more information about a consultation, either a 1 hour or a day consultation, just reach out, DM about that. You can even DM the word fast, so just make it easy. I know what you're talking about, know what you're inquiring about, and I'll send you the info. Besides that, could wrap the video up. It's a bit of a channel. I'm gonna go perhaps maybe do an errand, or perhaps not. It's even the lawfare thing. I was putting up the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act stuff yesterday. It's like, I don't even really need to go through with the 3 to 5 star passport. Just have that document and stand on principle. But I'm becoming more literate. I'm seeing that there's potential for lots of monitoring, surveillance, but it's not about that. Stuff like that has been going on. I'm just getting over myself and the ego, or just how ill-prepared the ego has been for the culture shock of what's already been going on. Just being sheltered tons, as much as I need to be, to where eventually, okay, now you can be at another certain age. You see that this is for sure what's been going on the whole time. It puts more context, explains all the struggles, stuff you couldn't explain previously, and other people around you, they can't tell you, because it's just a level or literacy, the information, having access, get your security clearance for the occult measures, the occult side, and that's what it be. So focusing on the state of consciousness, the quality of your personal energy state, like it's nothing else. If you didn't have a phone, there's no telephones, there's no internets, what really were people doing? Where was the focus, just the general attention span? Like, what was it about? Where was it oriented? The distraction, it gets crazy. The body, the spirit possession, being ensnared by the world and things. It's the mind's mentally attaching to stuff. It's been trained to do so in order to make it more controllable, make the individual more controllable, so there's no uprising, subversion of the invaders who introduced these parts of the cultures or repackaged the original culture in counterproductive ways. And even if that's not what it is, then really what did happen? How are we going to know? Even if it's muscle testing, it's got to be something. Even if it's muscle testing, it's got to be something. So you look at the institutions, I've been through them. I've seen even how they're studying at the university levels. I've seen how they're training personnel, even at an officer training level, going at the Air Force Academy. So the social climate, the general mindset, the perspective is just like, you know, seeing the characters, or just how your favorite director or writer, you just know how they write. You just know how they think. You know, it's just, and so I see that. It's good to see that, and then you get to step out of it and continue to optimize what you're working on. That's not better than what anyone else could have done on their own in these institutions, because it's not, again, we're not comparing. You can't compare. Everyone's unique, and that's the funniest part. When folks are really trying to assimilate you and make you force beliefs on you of what everyone around them has thought their whole life, you can just pull that uniqueness card up like, bruh, how could you say that this other person is supposed to do what you think they're supposed to do when everyone's unique? No one really should actually be able to tell anyone else what is what. You do that on your own. If it's 8 billion people on the planet, it's probably 8 billion different diets, specifically for who you are and where you're at. And I don't have to presume now. I don't have to go into judgment about other people. This is beautiful seeing on camera in yesterday's dream stream how candidly I would go through that conversation of not going to anger about a provocateur because of how I know in the fiber of my bones. And I know in the depths of my soul, anger is a disease now. If I didn't know in the depths of my soul that anger is a disease and it's counterproductive, and I cut that out, then boom, you gotta like really get engaged and go into a dark, incoherent, frenetic place in the consciousness because you feel like you're being provoked by this other and you're taking it personal. It's not about that impersonal energy dynamics all day working on optimizing it, elevating, increasing the quality of it. So ascending paradigms, other dimensions, and then it always feels like it's just getting started. We're in an eternity. As much as that circle grows of what you know, what you don't know also grows. So this is a fuel. The knowledge, the conversation, the dialogue with the all-knowing mind of the universe itself, unknowable life itself. It should fuel and propel you through the mystery as you're accessing even higher states of complete, total, ultimate awareness. While everyone else is doing what? Playing video games, eating garbage, watch TV, squandering all these moments and breaths when we could be participating in the divine creation unfolding of all that is. And there's the technology, the sciences, the arts, video games, sports, it's all here still. It's going to be appropriated as the minds of folks are becoming uncorrupted, unperverted, and correcting themselves, so we can actually engage in a modest, sensible way with these forms of entertainment and media, as opposed to this very immersive wacko jackaland activity. Who's really being an example for, let's say, an alternative culture where things are operating more preferably in a sense to where everybody would obviously choose that if there was an option between the old way and something that's going on alternatively. And then, so culture, bliss. Who can have the best time? There should be like a checklist, and you could rank all the cultures of the planet and who's really having the best time, that's the most sustainable and harmonically inclusive of all that is. What's even this idea of being a first-class society? The first-class thing, I'm not even saying that I'm there as a person. This is just a dialogue, the commentary. I can riff all day, every day, because it's a minority now that I've become, also building authority in the niche with a more superior way of approaching at least preventative health measures. And then we have the AI in the pocket. Sybil AI is a great example of a closed system, metaphysical, spiritual wellness AI that you can use to diagnose yourself. If it also gets like that, probably 10 years from now, there's going to be stuff that you can scan, take pictures, put it in, just describe what's going on to the AI doctor. Resources, it's not that scarce. Herbs, homeopathic, holistic herbs, never really that expensive. This is happening right now. Personally, someone close is dealing with seizures, and they just informed me yesterday, I'm going to get back on the magnesium. I'm going to order some sunflower lecithin. Huge. I sent probably like 8 different herbs with some descriptions where they're relative to each other. You can read through and sort of assess for yourself, taking into account all the symptoms of someone that's close to me, and then just giving them as much information so they can make a decision on their own for an alternative solution. And so that really happened yesterday. Right? Someone close to me, just story-wise, it's not like a testimonial like the person's here talking about it though. And I got just getting the text like, hey, they got the emails, they're buying some of the herbs, they're getting some of the supplements he sent. They're getting some of the supplements I sent, and we'll see how that goes. It's shocking. Like if I'm asking like, oh, have you tried this yet? And there's some things that it's like the first thing that's the most well-known solution throughout history, the past like 1,000 years, and you haven't even tried it yet. Right? What's going on? These specialists in the cult of evidence-based science, the trauma economy, you can participate, deal with the pharmaceuticals if you want, though the risk potentially, when you don't have all the options available in totality, and there's the ancient wisdom and traditions that have been already going on functionally, you got to connect to the his story, her story, the dysfunction, the occult history, her story, dysfunction of it. You see how that could actually take place, that these pharmaceutical companies are really here and they don't have to be, but we're en masse still believing in them, putting good faith in them, having to deal with a bunch of covert injustices or authoritarian injustice. This is a visitor here on the planet, apparently a highly abusive visitor on the planet that controls and can even affect your life, come through the feelings and emotions and the insecurities of all the people around you, because that's the nature of how it's been set up. Again, transgenerational, 5th generational warfare, nth generational conjure magic. Lift the spell, break the spell. I've spent the whole time being primed, trying to learn how to make content. Now the realization, epiphany, is you are the content. Be the content. all the stuff that people make, it's about you. The way it's done in general, it's actually how you just are. There's people who make content, people who are the content. Stepping over into this realm, it's like a new organ, a new sense that is coming online. You're growing some wings or something. Everything's different. The meaning of life from a moment to moment basis, it's connected or oriented somewhere else. Okay, if it's all content, I am the content. I'm building, accumulating, pondering the awareness, let's say, as it percolates, condensing to the next words out of the mouth. And until I'm speaking or there's any outflow, the direction of it is going to be inward, cycling, breathing. The whole life, it was just idle, going outward towards the world, not cycling inward. So doing that, detoxing, clarifying. Now we're really consciously breathing with the unbroken inward attention. The awareness, you're a channel, you're a receiver now. You can access or host frequencies in the vessel because you're clear now. This is where the content's coming from, because you can see what's going on. Okay, this clarity, the coherence here, the bliss and coherence as I am the content. I'm perceiving on a daily basis new stuff, learning continually. There's always going to be something that I can easily channel into one of these vids, harnessing the skill set at channeling the daily content in this flow, leveraging, keying into that phenomena, getting even better at turning these flows into specific bits of content that are super relevant. It's like you would have to sit down and write this out for like a couple weeks with some help and getting a bunch of research done, going out of your way. Even AI is helping you find these topics. I make the topics just because of the daily channel and reading the energies. It's just reading the daily energies. I couldn't do this if I had some wheat in the system. Let's say I did have some wheat in the system. There's just more cloudiness. The stuttering's there. The vibe is continually improving, having more fun in general with the delivery. It's gonna be less stutters as well. I will communicate, say things in the way I want to say them, how I want to say them, with no ums and ahs or stutters or pauses or blanks. It's only a blank that I'll stop. That's what the clips are even about. You'll see cuts in all the dream streams. Yesterday's dream stream was the least amount of clip cuts that I had to make because I'm really there here. Before that, it's tons of clips because there'll be some pauses, some blanks, there's no ums and ahs. I said ums and ahs first, but nah, I didn't even want to say ums and ahs. I never say that. The pauses and the blanks and the stuttering, that's gonna be taken out. Mastering the form of communication, and then the tone. Where is the voice truly coming from? How relaxed and calm, self-assured, confident really am I? You could be unwavering, the stillness, the centeredness, the coherence, linked with the bliss, the rewards, the satisfaction of just learning and developing, maturing yourself. This is way better than the dopamine and serotonin from the emotional eating or whatever, distracting, immersive activities or forms of entertainment you're getting into. It's fun. It's overly fun. It's overstimulating. I'm talking about the subtle, light, high, calm satisfaction of the cultivation of the self and the benefits or rewards of that you can apply and channel into higher levels of productivity, effectiveness, and whatnot. I say productivity, effectiveness, efficiency a lot. We'll find more words too as we become more literate. I don't know even what happened just now with this camera, even this light as well over here. I'll just take that as a little sign signal to wrap it up. I trust you got everything you could have possibly wanted from this stream. I'll see you in the next one. It really has been about setting up, configuring the vessel first to be the content instead of trying to think of it. And I'm sorting through all these ideas, these thoughts in real time, explaining how this is how it's happening. This is day 11 of Dreamstream. I'm getting on, this is the smoothies, smoothie life. This is the smoothie life, the protein. smoothie, protein, and you get into the juices. The supplements are as well happening. Just got the 10 mushroom complex and this particular protein blend. And then you stack other supplements on top. You got the wherewithal about that. You can feel what it is. Though, what are you gonna do with all that being nourished? So the spiritual identity, the alignment with your ultimate purpose and ideals as your true nature, supernatural self, getting out of the way. This is stick in general of how everyone is supposed to be believing that they are. It's not the true self, and it's serving the false system. This is the real matrix, the true reality that the false system's built on top of. There's micromanagers in the false one, or micromanagers in the sub-matrix. It's the artificial matrix. It's not real. And then there's real nature, true nature. It's relaxing. It's not separate even from all the fibers here. 0 point field of quantum energy. It's not any particles, it's all waves with 99.99% space in between them, though even the void isn't empty. So it's immersive. They're dealing with the immersive distraction. I'm dealing with the immersive fractal consciousness. The Planck length is here. You got golden ratio in the Planck length. There's dreams at night, and there's the heart rate variability with the brain hook coherence, and let's say ESP, psychokinesis, going psychokinetic. Just the lore of that. Again, the ET history, her story, your story, which is all about the ET religious programming. So there's a holy drama or context or blueprint, it's just the original context of reality of truly what's actually happening. Can you just familiarize yourself or activate your DNA into the awareness of what's always been, so you can participate, contributing to the great work, right? After solving a personal mystery. And that happens in your own way individually for everyone. This awakening process has just been documented. I gotta explain perhaps a bit more of the story that goes even like 15 years ago. Though it's gonna for sure at this point start at the December or June 26, 2024 situation, and just the whole kidnapping to torturing, slave patrol situation, prisoner of war, because that really is still how it is. So the psych wards, the prisons, the prison systems, there's really like no place for it other than crony corporatism. There's really no place for prison for profit. Before 1492, there were no mental asylums. Before 1492, there were no criminals. Before 1492, right, no hospitals. Right, what was going on? The land had stuff. There were structures on the land before that was sort of super questionable about where even those original structures came from. Those previous ones, and then you have the conversation talk about the flood. This is occultism, alternative spirituality, and Western occultism. There's a lot of talk about specific flood, and then there's even incubator babies, folks populating different areas. It's a reset, there's a lot of piracy going on, so people are just rewriting things after let's say, in a certain area after there was a large flood. And so fabricating even like 1400 years, it was really like 400 or 500 years ago, there's like a flood, but since then it's just been a small groups of people, secret societies, just writing out stuff after that sort of reset. The Mormons talk about it, and what does it have to do with the sovereignty of your soul right now? What's relevant? And so breathing, consciousness, fractal consciousness, and then leaning into the human potential growth, and then the fullness, the complete expression. It really is a spiritually activated experience. So going extremist, being an optimist, and then there's so many things I'm gonna still have to sort out because of the confusion coming out of it, how immersed you really could be in this hotbed of ignorance. I'm not gonna not question myself a lot and be open to questioning by others, so I can continue to move towards the most optimal timeline. Just makes sense for everybody, because you can't really make the most high quality decisions isolated, not talking to people, just working on what you think is the best intuitively. Yeah, you're connected to the universe, the all-knowing mind, you're guided. Though what really could we be getting into if we work together collectively with others, adding our own piece to the pool of shared meaning, and it opens up. It's like, again, it's just tons of content. I think that's another inflow of where I get the most content, is just when I get to entertain and hold other folks' perspectives in real time. What's going on in the public domain, the pop culture. Just because when folks are talking about it, oh, damn, this is what these other people are going through on this side, in this political conversation. Oh, that's their angle on it. That's very showing or indicative of the general or collective values that are beneath the surface, just to confirm what I'm working on here with this personal spiritual science. I'll see you in the next vid. it's really even in between vids. It's like, dang, I have a whole new life. This just tons more energy and clarity. And the purpose is tapped in. It's connected to the business even succeeding, not for me, for the collective. Though also it's nothing separate. Everything's lined up. So I'm enjoying the adventure. It's really enjoying the adventure now. You can even sit and just revel. I'm sitting around capable of reveling in the moment about where I'm at any point. It's got to be careful because it's really tons of action I'm about to be taking. Not much sitting around and reveling in how ideal this situation is that I've developed or that I've just become the arbitrator of. I could revel in the fact of this situation that I've become the arbitrator of. Like, wow, I'm so grateful, and I am. Same time, and appreciate that. Celebrate little wins, and we'll keep it going. Have fun.